It's another beautiful day here on the homestead, and we've got more of the same going on. So today we start on the next cylinder. It's the final cylinder that we've got to repack on the tractor. Once we get that done, then we're gonna do some welding. We found some cracks and stuff on the loader. Like I said, that old loader is about wore out. We just keep it going. It's all we can do. Ain't no sense trying to, spend another, I don't know, $4,000 or $5,000 on another one if you can even find one. They don't make this model anymore. So, best option is just keep making repairs and keep it going. The repairs aren't expensive, it's just work. So that's what we do. We just get her done. Anyway, so first thing we got to do with this cylinder is get out our torch and everything, heat it up and see if we can break that gland free to get that keeper wire out and get her taken apart. So that's what we're gonna do. Well, unfortunately our propane, our liquid propane LP setup for our torch, we've only got a 25-foot hose on that, and it won't reach clear out here. So we had to set up the acetylene for this one. So we got a 100-foot hose on that. So on this one, instead of using the propane, we're going to use acetylene, which, unfortunately, it's a little more expensive, plus it's a little bit limited because you have to control your flow rates. If you flow too much acetylene too fast, it turns to acetone. So we've got a number 4 tip on this one instead of a number 8. I guess it would help if I turn my regulators on. Okay, we got our gas turned on. Go. Okay, well, I see part of the problem. We've got that wire has popped out a little bit and it's just jamming up in there. Just so you can see what's gone wrong here. So you can see that wire hanging out of the bottom of the deal. Normally that just spins around clean until you find the end, and then the end pops out, and then you twist it the other direction to spin it all the way out. But this one's bound up inside, probably rusted, and so it's kinked on us. So now we got a big wire kink there coming out the opening, and that's got the whole thing kind of locked up. So always something. Let's see how we figure this one out. Hey folks, would you believe I'm still working on the tractor? Progress is slow, very slow. So as always, Murphy shows up and things go wrong. It's not that it's like a major ordeal, catastrophe or anything like that. It's just little stuff, and little stuff adds up and makes the job more difficult, makes it last longer, and then I have to find a way to do things different to solve the problem, right? So anyway, on this final cylinder, we got it to loosen up. Let me show you what's going on here. So we got it loose, and the gland, or this collar here, spins pretty freely. I mean, it's not, you know, you can't turn it with your hand or anything, but it turns. The problem is that you got that wire in here that wraps around the whole thing to hold this thing from popping out. And what happened is the wire sheared off. So now we've got a piece of wire over here. I don't know how far around it goes. We probably got about half the wire out, so maybe halfway around. And when you spin it, it doesn't move. So it's just stuck in there sitting. And the collar spins, but the wire doesn't move. So now what I've got to do is I've got to take this whole thing out of here, put it somewhere else where I can hold it steady and I can see what I'm doing. And then I've got to find the hole where the wire goes into. If there's a piece of wire in it, I got to get that wire out so the hole is clear. And then I need to take another piece of wire or something, put it in that hole, and then spin it around so that that piece of wire will push out the other wire. So that's how I think I'm going to do it. We're just going to have to see how it works. So as always, that's where we're at. Stick with us. Let's see how it goes. Solutions is what we deal with here. So we took the cylinder off, just stuck a crowbar through it and put it in the pipe there on the tractor. And that held it steady, sitting on the bucket here, so that we could put a wrench on it and spin the gland. As we spin the gland, there's a hole right there. So that hole, there's a bend usually in the wire. The bend sticks in there, and then the wire, as you twist it, wraps around. And that's what locks this gland inside the cylinder. Of course, the problem that we had, the wire sheared off at the hole. So it was sheared off flat. We actually had to drill that out because the wire was rusted in there and everything, sheared smooth. And it wasn't moving at all, so we ended up drilling it out. Then we took an old piece of wire, we put a bend in it, and we just cut a short piece, put it in there, and then we turned it around and it pushed the rest of the wire out. We removed that wire, right around, of course it sheared off again, got it out, and we started drilling it, but then I'm like, why drill it on there? I take it apart and do it better. So we'll drill that again, clean it all up, and reassemble. Of course, usually when you buy a whole kit, you get a new one of those wires in it. All of our wires, our old ones, are shot. We used the new one out of this kit to do this last cylinder, so we're going to need to get some new wire. Hopefully we can find just the wire and you know, outside of a kit. Otherwise we'll have to figure out the wire and build one. But the problem we run into is, you know, getting just the right size, the right hardness of wire, whatever. So I'd rather have one that's made for it, so we just, you know, do it. I can't imagine I won't be able to find one. I'll get one. Anyway, so we've got all the seals and everything. This was actually one of the kits. It was over $100 from New Holland. but we bought it last time when we rebuilt the other cylinder, which was probably close to a year ago. So anyway, we've got that seal kit, so we're good. We just need to take this apart, clean it all up, reassemble, and acquire one of those locking wires, and we'll be good to go. And then we'll put it back together, and that'll mean that all 4 cylinders have been rebuilt and hopefully will last many years to come. So that's where we're at. Solutions, not problems. Well, folks, I feel like we done plowed this furrow all the way to Bedrock, and it's time to put the mules away. Unfortunately, this is still what we're doing. But I think we about got her licked. Let me show you. So we've got the piston all rebuilt with new seals and everything on it, and we've got the gland all cleaned up and rebuilt with all new seals and everything on it. So all we got left to do now is we've got to clean this cylinder up a little bit and then get her put back together. Now we do have to run to town to get a new wire for the keeper on that. The wire that we pulled out was destroyed, and our other one from the other cylinder got destroyed. Sometimes you can reuse them, sometimes you can't. We did have one that we were able to use when we put this bucket cylinder back together, but we don't have an extra one here, so we'll have to get one when we go to town. The cylinder's all back together. We got the front pin on. We still got to hook up the hoses. I've got to replace a couple O-rings to seal those good. And we've got this back pin to put in. And then we've got the wire lock to put on the cylinder to hold that gland on. And then it'll be okay. Of course, this thing continues to fight every step of the way, but ain't no quit here. We ain't losing. So we're at about, I don't know, 90%. The only hold up now is we got thunderstorms rolling in. If you can see the sky there, we're already getting a little thunder. We've had a few drops fall. I think it was about 70 or 80% chance, so we'll see what happens. But I've shut down work, and thunderstorms again tomorrow, so I don't know. We'll go to town sometime here and go get that wire to lock that together and get this thing finished up. So one step at a time, right? As you can see, I'm pretty hot. It's every day's been hot out here. Anyway, we're getting there. We're getting there. Sorry I don't have more exciting content for you today, but I mean, this is where we're at. This is what we're doing. So once I get this tractor all fixed and put back together, then, you know, we'll get on to another project. But for now, we got to get this thing fixed before we move on to the next thing. So appreciate you watching and sticking with us. I know sometimes it can be a little bit boring. Trust me, if it's boring for you, you're seeing a fraction of what I'm actually dealing with. So it's even worse for me. I'd rather be moving on to something else as well, but we'll get there. So as always, folks, appreciate you watching. God bless. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.